Well, hello. We'd like to introduce ourselves. I'm Suzanne Skillen,
And my name is Paul McAneny.
and we're really happy that you're watching us. This is our very, very first podcast, and I'm sure you're wondering, why are we doing it? Why are we doing this podcast? Why are we doing this podcast?
Why?
Because we've reached an age where between us, we have a lot of experience. We've had huge lives on two different parts of the planet, which you'll hear by our accents eventually. And we thought we'd like to share all the things we've learned. We've had massive, massive highs, and we've had equally very large lows as well. We've also had incredible amounts of self-development. We worked out the other day, we've got it's about 80 years of self-development experience with incredible trainers, and the fact that we've actually gone through the experiences too. So we thought it'd be really great to share this with you. And I'll tell you a little bit about ourselves. I'm going to introduce Paul first. So you tell whoever's watching, all about you.
Yeah, hi everybody. I was a bit of a rebel at school and I hated school. So I left school at 16 with my school certificate, and I just love surfing, and virtually I built my life around just surfing and virtually being lazy and doing nothing really. And then I joined the police force, and I was in the police for 15 years. And during that time, I had lots of, really bad experiences, shot at, and I was, attacked and all that sort of stuff. And I ended up having a nervous breakdown, and I was put out of the police on medical grounds because of stress and fatigue. And I was having nightmares, and I was drinking really heavily. So I lost the plot. And then the police doctor said to me, you've got to learn how to go and control your sleep and also control your stress, because, I was really freaking out at the time. Anyway, so I went to a guy called Paul Blackburn, who was down in Canberra. He worked at the Institute of Sport, and he was working with all top athletes on the mental side of sport. Anyway, so he took me under his wing and mentored me. And I started, speaking on the power of the mind and how the mind operates, and that's how I got involved in the personal development. And it's been a never-ending journey. So for over 40 years now, I've been doing personal development, and it's not because we failed, because we're still learning. It's a never-ending journey. And what about you?
Oh my goodness! So we've got completely opposite experiences in life. Paul, as you could tell, is Australian from Sydney, and I'm a Londoner. I'm from London, England, and I was the opposite to Paul. I knew exactly what I wanted to do when I was a little girl. I wanted to be a ballerina. And I know probably many of you have daughters or granddaughters or grandsons who want to be dancers, and never achieve it because then other passions come into their lives. I didn't. I just wanted to dance. It made me happy. I love dancing. I really probably had no idea what a ballerina even looked like, but everybody where we lived called me the little ballerina. And interesting enough, my parents and my grandparents were from a generation where to go on the stage was not considered a good thing. And they had high hopes of me being a surgeon, which if you knew me, you would realize that was completely the wrong profession for me. But however, I just followed that dream, and through a series of experiences, which I'd love to tell you about another time, I found myself on a scholarship to a ballet school in London. By that time, my parents had moved to Yorkshire, which is in the middle of England on the way to Scotland. So it was a 5-hour train journey, which seemed like forever when you're 10 years old. I was far away from my family, from everything I knew, but I wanted to dance. And I loved the school. I loved learning. And it was my dream come true. So, of course, being a dancer, being at ballet school, there were a lot of challenges, which now I look back on, and I look at our granddaughter, and just think, how did I go to ballet school when I was so young? And I managed my own finances. I had a post office account, managed that, just had to manage my life at the age of 10 because the school wasn't a boarding school. So I lived in approved addresses. They actually, one of them was my very first one was very cruel. And it was like something out of Charles Dickens, actually. So, but that was the first of my challenges. But I just knew, I knew how to make myself happy. And a friend of ours has called me a possibilitarian. And I've always known that there's possibilities in life, and I've always seen the miracles. And yeah, even now I have friends, I'm in my 70s, and my friends call me Pollyanna. I'm a realistic optimist. I know that life can throw things at you, but it's how we get through these hurdles that's important. And that's the reason we were talking and just saying we are elders. We're not elderly, but we are elders with the wisdom of elders. And we're hoping that our wisdom we can share with you. And it might be just one thing that you will learn from us that you can take. And it's ageless. Wisdom is ageless. Experiences are ageless. The things that life will give you, you never know when it's going to happen, when you go and get that curveball. But between the two of us, we certainly have had our fair share of curveballs, huge highs and huge lows.
Yeah, we've been very, very fortunate, and we've both had fantastic mentors. I was fortunate enough to work with Tony Robbins for a long time, and some of my others are Paul Blackburn, David Wood, John Maxwell. So they've been fantastic leaders, and I put what they've told me into action, and it's been a life-changing for us. And so we've both been working in the health and wellness industry for over 40 years now each. And so our goal is to help people with not only their health, but also their wealth. And so we've had, as Suzanne said, we've had many ups and downs, and with great learning experiences of what to do and what not to do. So if anybody's out there having a hard time right now, which I know that a lot of people are, we are here to help and guide you and mentor you if you need any help or advice.
Yeah, so I was just thinking as Paul was talking, I mean, I've lost absolutely everything 3 times in my life, absolutely everything. And when I was, how old was I the very first time? 30. When I was 30, that was easy to cope with. It was almost, I can just get on. And I was, looking back, I was brave, but certainly not broken by everything that was happening to me. The second time I was in my 40s, and it's, again, I will share this story eventually, but it was tougher. And plus I had 2 little people with me as well. And we began with, again, absolutely nothing in a country I didn't know, with no friends and no family and no support, but just got on with it. And again, brave, not broken. The third time, it happened to both of us at the same time. And I was 60. It's very different when you're 60. It's more frightening. You need a lot of courage to start again. And luckily we had each other, which really, really helped. But at the point we were almost destitute, and it was devastating. And at the same time we had a lot of personal loss as well and grief to deal with. So there was a lot going on, but between the two of us, we remembered and used everything we've ever learned from our mentors, from all the books we've read, which continues to this day. I was thinking about our bedside tables are groaning with self-development books. I normally have one self-development book and one amazing novel working at the same time, depending on my mood. And it continues. Life is just such a journey. And we'd love to share that with you. And I know we all have, none of us gets away with a life with nothing. And how boring would that be, actually, if you think about it? And it is really the things that crack you, and as they say, they break you into pieces, but that's when the light shines through. And I'm so grateful for all the lessons I know that I've had, and I'm sure you feel the same way too.
Yeah. Well, see, I come from a scarcity background. Like my parents, used to say, money doesn't grow on trees. Money doesn't make you happy. Rich people probably go out there selling drugs and all this sort of stuff. So I made millions and millions and millions of dollars, but I also lost millions and millions and millions of dollars. And so I've learnt now, I don't touch the money anymore. Suzanne handles all the money. So, but we've got great investments, and, so we're very healthy right now, and we're both in our 70s. We feel fantastic, but also we're very, very wealthy, and in our lives, and also our relationships, and financially in that as well. So that's been a great bonus, but it's been a great learning experience by us working together 24/7. We've helped over 110,000 people in 10 countries around the world with their health and their wealth. So it's been an exciting journey for us over the last 12 years. And so Suzanne's lived in 18 countries. So it's we both love traveling.
I'm always ready to go and live in another country.
She's ready now, and I'm
still
thinking,
don't belong anywhere.
She's turning me grey.
But I'm sure if I turned around and said, let's go and live in Italy tomorrow, you would do it, or
for sure.
a Greek island,
for
or
sure.
whatever. We're always ready to travel and have another adventure. We love traveling. I started very young, traveling, obviously, as a dancer, which was wonderful. I had a career that paid me to travel. And it was interesting when Paul was saying that he didn't have an abundant background. I didn't. My parents were very careful. And my father used to say, you can choose one thing. You can either be happy, you can be healthy, or you can be wealthy. You can't have all three. And I say, why can't I have all three? There are people out there that have all those things. Why not me? So it didn't actually put me off. And it made me recognize that there were people in beautiful homes, and there were people living abundant lives, and there were people who were able to give back, which is always my dream, to do random acts of kindness. Even since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to be able to give to others who needed it. And we can all do that it's out there for everybody. And I was very lucky in the fact that when I went to ballet school, I had a benefactor. I mean, it seems a really old-fashioned word now, the benefactor he taught me about this world. He was a lord. He lived in a stately home. He just had this abundant life, even though he had incredible hardships too, but he had this incredible mindset. So he'd lost both his legs as a fighter pilot, and loved dance and loved everything to do with ballet and the arts. So he had to change his dream. He had to change his dream completely. But I was so privileged that he was a benefactor to me and a few of the other students at ballet school. And he took us to Glyndebourne, he took us to Covent Garden, he took us to all the galleries. He taught me so much about art, and Paul knows I drag him around art galleries wherever we go, and museums. And I absolutely love anything to do with the arts. I'm always at the theatre, going to the theatre tomorrow, in fact, just constantly. It's part of our lives. The Sydney Opera House is like our little local theatre. Whenever something's on, we're there. So my life was rich and abundant with these incredibly artistic people who taught me another way compared to the background I came from. And to be honest, by the time I was 15, I very rarely went home. After my home life wasn't that happy. So it gave me this world opened up for me that was so different, and that I've explored and loved. And I've got friends all over the world, and I'm so grateful for that.
Perhaps you might be able to give me more than $5 a week pocket money.
Are you doing this on our podcast?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You have to.
I might have to earn it.
Yeah. You just took your an advantage there. No, I do watch all our. The ridiculous thing is, which I'll share with you, is that I call Paul Rain Man. He is so brilliant at numbers and working things out. And I can ask him anything in maths and he's worked it out in his head, doesn't have to write it down. Whereas I have to write things down and check them about 3 or 4 times because I'm quite dyslexic when it comes to numbers. However, guess who does all our taxes, all our bookkeeping, manages everything. And I give you $5 should be enough a week.
Yeah, well, the good thing about we work fantastically together. I love the business side of things, and helping people with their health and as I said, the wealth side of things. And we've invested in real estate. We've got, as Suzanne said, we've got lots of art and invest in companies and that as well. So together we make a great team.
Yeah, but remember, we came from nothing.
Yeah,
in our 60s, just very few short years ago. We were literally. I actually had to borrow money from my daughter, my adult daughter, which was, there's so much shame around that time. I'd put both my children through private school. I was proud of what I'd achieved. I had a beautiful home and lost absolutely everything and had to begin again. And it was so tough for us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But we had each other. That's the good thing. We had each other. We lifted each other up. And again, so grateful for the lessons we had. And I'm sure many of you look back on your lives and the challenges you had, you're grateful for, because without them, you wouldn't be the person that you've become, which is exactly how I feel. It's just like, I'd probably be still in England. Who knows what I'd be doing? I don't know what I'd be doing. I wouldn't be living the life I'm living now. And the other thing is, as a dancer, I then became a Pilates practitioner. And I've always had the love of the connection between the mind, the body, and the spirit. So yes, I eat very, very well. I'm very careful about what I eat. I'm an ex-dancer. But during my life as a dancer, I really abused my body in many ways. At ballet school, I was put on amphetamines at the age of 11. Can you imagine? A little girl, just because I prepubescent, bit of chubby fat. And I was put on these tablets, which stayed with me for years, the effects of those tablets. And then I tried every kind of diet. If you want to know about diets, I've done them all. I've done intermittent fasting forever, cleansing in very weird places in the world, many cleanses that involve tubes in strange places. So became an expert I was almost modeling myself. I was experimenting myself on how to get a really healthy, well-balanced body, because without good nutrition and good health, you need that for your brain, because my thoughts were often very depressing. I was unhealthy, both in my brain and my body. So I'm really grateful for the fact that I went down this journey of looking at taking good care of myself. So now biohacking has become a bit of a trend, hasn't it? But I've been having cold showers forever.
Yeah.
Freezing cold showers, because I lived in Africa. And when I came into a country where it was a Western country again, I kept thinking of everybody I knew in Africa who didn't have running water and didn't have beautiful, fresh, cold water. So ever since I lived there, I've always had ice cold showers. I love anything. I've tried everything. I use everything. Cryotherapy, oxygen therapy, mindfulness, we both do. Been doing Qigong. Every single morning we do a Qigong class together, which we absolutely love.
Yeah, 12 years ago, I was way overweight. I was, because of the stress, that was going on in my life. I was 28 kilos overweight. The great thing about it, I lost the weight 12 years ago, and I've kept it off now, the 28 kilos and 29 inches off my stomach and chest. And, I'm doing things now in my 70s that I couldn't even do in my 30s and 40s. Because Suzanne was so fit, I couldn't even walk around the block, like 12 years ago without puffing out or even doing my shoes up. I was getting dizzy and all that sort of stuff. And my dad had diabetes and high cholesterol, so I didn't want to end up like him. So we went down the health and wellness track, and that's what we've been doing, for the last 12 years, and helping people with, as I said, their health and their wealth, but also this new biohacking, and also on the mental side, it's the mind, body, and spirit, as Suzanne says. So we're helping people holistically.
Yeah, holistically. WHO.
Holistically.
I think sounds good.
HOLISTIC.
Yeah, but everybody says holistically, and I think it's whole. It's the whole person. So that's all those things. And I've learned the tough way. As I said, harsh diets, harsh cleanses, and now intermittent fasting is very, very much part of our lives, and it has been for years. I've been using infrared saunas for a long time, mainly for healing, actually, for injuries, but that I love infrared saunas. There's things that people are now catching on to, but I think one of the main things is mindfulness and meditation. I know a lot of people don't like the word meditation, or they can call it prayer, whatever. It's just going into yourself and recognizing. I don't like the word guru. And I don't know if you've ever heard anybody say guru actually is, gee, you are you. We're all gurus, actually. We can all learn from ourselves. We've all got so much knowledge inside us. So that's something that we love to share. And there's so much that I'm excited about doing this. So as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about all the little things that I want to share with you. So have you got anything else to say on our very, very first podcast? I hope you're enjoying it, by the way.
No, and we'll go into more being more open and more vulnerable with our stories, and going deeper in that as well, because we've both had really dramatic life experiences, and disasters in our lives, losing loved ones and all that sort of stuff. So we've got it from personal experience. It's not just by reading books. We've done the hard yards, and 15 years in the police, and that's enough in anybody's life. What we've had to go through, and your life. So we both had personal tragedies, but also marriage breakups and all that sort of stuff. So and everybody has these life experiences anyway. So but down the track we'll be more open, more vulnerable, and we're looking forward to talking to you.
Yes. Anything else to say? A lesson for today? Have you got?
Well, lesson for today, everything is all about mindset. If you have a great mindset, that's one of the things that we really focus on, being strong and positive. Having a positive mindset is always great, whether it's for your weight loss journey, or your life journey, or your business journey, or your relationship journey, having a positive mindset. What about you?
Gratitude has, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for you, grateful for our life, but every day I'm grateful for the miracles, just the little miracles, because they're out there, and sometimes we don't always see them. At the moment here, we've got autumn coming into Australia, and so it's such a beautiful season. It's so lovely. Actually, we do have a lot of autumn blossoms, which is gorgeous. So just gratitude for everything. And I do practice that. And it really has changed my life, because there were times in my life when I it was hard to find anything to be grateful for. But now I know that everything out there, there's so much to be grateful for.
Yeah. And I focus on affirmations and vision boards and setting goals, and that is goal setting and that. So that's some of the things we're going to share with you. So exciting times ahead.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.